for every single one of the crimes of Buddy the Elf that we have identified on this wonderful show. This is a guy whose heart is always in the right place. He doesn't have a bad bone in his body, and his intentions are so pure and so wonderful that anything that he did that was crossing the line, I would be able to excuse.
Happy holiday season, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Doug Defense, the show where a real lawyer talks about fake things. I am Billy Business, and sitting right here is the man of the hour. You're kind of like my Santa Claus because you're holly, you're jolly, and I take things from the set that don't belong to me, so it's like you give me gifts.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's definitely legal, mostly.
Yeah. It's under a certain amount of money.
I know. We talked about this in our promo,
yep.
but yeah, it's the holiday season, and I'm sporting my Doug the Elf that Gabby did for us for the show. You can buy these right now on our link in bio, and our we have merch. We have more merch than Spaceballs.
I really want to see people send in their videos of kids opening our merch on Christmas morning, just like
just crying.
What? Dad?
What is the ugly elf? That doesn't look like Buddy at all. You smell like beef and cheese.
Where's his hair? Oh, Dollar Tree elf. So today we're talking full retail price elf. This is the 2003 Will Ferrell. I would say it's become a holiday classic.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You make a holiday movie, if you do it just right, you guarantee yourself you get fit into the rotation.
Yes.
People's rotations.
Yeah. I mean, and every year, and you just keep doing it. I mean, I heard the other day that Mariah Carey makes like $75,000 every minute.
Oh my God, I believe it. You do one of those,
yeah, just
and you
one.
Just sit back, McCartney, Kelly Clarkson. They're just They're just sitting back waiting. They're looking.
So like for us, this is something that will be just raking in all of that.
This is it, man.
Invisible social
pennies
money.
After pennies, baby. So, 2003, Will Ferrell, James Caan, Zooey Deschanel. I think this is pre-New Girl. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
And then the love of my life, Mary Steenburgen. Oh, baby, she's a dish. I'll tell you that. That Ted Danson. Ooh. I mean, if I had to lose out to Mary Steenburgen, Ted Danson.
I love that you finished that movie and that's who you focused on. But I'm a Zoe guy.
Tell me that she's not the most beautiful.
She's
Back
amazing.
To the Future
She's
3,
amazing. No
Step
question.
Brothers.
No question about
me?
it. Amazing. Amazing.
Age is like a fine wine. What are we talking? We're talking about Elf. Okay. So this movie is kind of fun because it takes that Rankin Bass continuity and kind of tries to play with it.
Yeah.
That Rankin Bass continuity, by the way, is crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you start to get into some of the other, like the boy who loved, I don't know what they're called. Yeah. But they are batshit crazy.
Yeah. Once you start going down the Rankin Bass.
Which we are going to talk about Rudolph in a couple weeks, so come back for that.
Yes.
But yeah, this was kind of fun, taking that as like the fish out of water. Okay, that world exists. Let's bring Will Ferrell's character Buddy, who was a human, and he absconded in Santa's bag, got brought back to the North Pole. He's been living. He thinks he's an elf. Finds out he's a human.
Shock.
And then he's gonna go find his real dad in New York City.
Right.
It's a fun, cute.
And there's nobody that does fish out of water better than Will Ferrell. And but even though Gabby did a great job drawing this, Gabby cringes because she doesn't like the uncomfortable humor.
She doesn't like cringe humor.
She doesn't like cringe humor. So for her, it's nails on chalkboard. But she still drew an amazing.
The one that like I just can't. There's two things I can't like. The picking up the gum in New York City, just like. I'm like, I don't even care how
it wasn't just one piece of gum.
No, it was a lot.
It was a lot of gum.
And then the maple syrup spaghetti thing, I'm like, I want to vomit. And I have a sweet tooth, and I'm just like, nope. But we're not a culinary show. Nor are we a movie review show.
I have never wished more that I had a prop of a plate of spaghetti with maple syrup on it. We were joking before we started the show that I was gonna juice up with that before I started. So
we're not a culinary show. We are not a review show.
True.
We are a legal show.
Right.
And I was telling you off air before we started. As we're getting into the spirit and I'm watching a lot of, my Christmas rotation, I'm realizing Christmas movies, it's almost a must that you must break a lot of laws in order for these stories. Like Jingle All the Way has like bombs and terrorists. And
it's
Santa Claus is
nuts.
like, manslaughter,
Well, and I watched Elf. I saw Elf in the theater.
Yeah.
The same weekend as Bad Santa. I don't know if you've ever seen Bad Santa, but I
didn't know that they were in the same.
It is as wrong as Elf is right. I mean, if Elf is like pure-hearted, Bad Santa is
black-hearted. I love it.
It's
that's Billy's kind of Christmas movie.
There you go.
So let's talk about the legal aspects of Elf because. Why else would we be here?
Right. So, it's kind of the point of the show.
So I really thought when we started this show, maybe this would come up once. It's kind of crazy to me that this is the third time I'm going to bring this up.
Uh-huh.
But let's talk about Santa Claus because technically,
right,
as we've learned with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yondu, you can't just keep a baby.
You can't just keep a baby.
Guys, if you take one thing away from the show, don't keep a baby that's not yours.
Yeah, it's not. That is the exception to finders keepers.
Yes.
Babies, small kids, it's not finders keepers, man. You got to do some effort in returning that stuff.
Okay, so how liable? Let's start with just the. I know the word nunnery is not right, but I can't think of where the church.
It's like an orphanage.
Yeah,
right?
the orphanage.
But,
there it is.
Yeah.
So, they kind of. Well, first of all, Santa on its face. Actually, before we get into any of this, I thought of this morning because of this Netflix Matt Rife debacle. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, parents, if you are watching this or listening to this with children, probably under the age of 12, pause this. Get them out of the room. We have classified information about Santa Claus that we need to talk about.
Flight schedules, all those sorts of things. Like we would not want to have you know exactly his trajectory. And I'm vamping intentionally so that you can pause it and then,
Okay.
Yeah.
We've given you plenty of time.
Yeah.
So the Matt Rife thing was Netflix put a preview of his new holiday special on, and sometimes you finish something on Netflix, it suggests something and it plays like a little clip.
Yeah.
The clip is like, so what age did you find out that Santa wasn't real? And parents are flipping out that was the clip that they chose.
Oh.
So I didn't want us to Matt Rife ourselves, but I do want to talk the Santa Claus as a concept is just horribly problematic from a legal standpoint. And in fact, I feel like becomes a plot point in stuff like The Santa Claus.
Right.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah.
So first of all, Santa breaking into people's houses. If I break into your house and I take nothing and I leave you something just awesome that you really want.
Right.
It's still a crime, but Is it that bad?
No, it's not that bad.
Okay.
It is still a felony.
Okay, fair.
Well,
I can't say like, Your Honor, he really wanted it.
Right.
He was really good this year.
It's like Rocket. But what if I just really wanted it more than him?
But I'm not taking it. So it's like,
no, I know. It would be trespassing is what it would be.
Okay.
So actually it wouldn't be a felony.
Okay.
They would have to be they would, if you came into my house and left me a present, like
Yeah.
broke into my house and put it under the Christmas tree and somehow survived. I really think that all we're talking about is trespass.
But let me add this though.
Yeah.
I would argue with my legal knowledge.
Yes.
If I'm defending Santa, you kind of inferred an invite or implied an invite, I should say, because you left cookies out for me to eat.
Or is it now a felony if he takes the cookies because it's theft?
But if you left them out expressly, we made these for Santa.
Well, then it depends on where you put them.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if you put them out for Santa versus, they're on the kitchen counter.
What if you leave them out on the kitchen counter?
Well, and then Santa steals your cookie?
No. If there's a plate of cookies on Christmas Eve, I would say culturally, if I'm on the jury, it is implied that is indeed a gift exchange, I guess, for an offering.
So at what point does I mean, how many cookies is Santa legally entitled to take before it becomes theft? I mean, like, imagine, like some families, spend weeks making Christmas cookies. I mean, what if they come downstairs on Christmas morning and the big guy ate every single one of their like homemade cookies?
Okay, so but again, according to what you've told me, going all the way back to our Friends episode with the cheesecake, probably not enough to be, I mean, we're not talking like $1,000 worth of cookies. It's probably,
it could be.
I doubt.
And factor in man hours and
Keebler elves. No one's making that many cookies in your kitchen at Christmas. I'm sorry.
Probably not, but you never know. I mean, maybe they're really nice cookies.
Okay, we're getting nowhere. So then the baby crawls into Santa's buddy, the baby, who they call him that because of something he's wearing. Right?
Yeah, his diapers.
His diapers, okay.
Yeah.
So Buddy crawls into the bag. There's no intent for kidnapping. So I don't think you could take Santa for kidnapping, right?
You couldn't.
Like this is the weirdest hypothetical I could think of. If somehow I left my like trunk open in the parking lot and a toddler crawled in and I didn't see him and just drove off, like what is the legal situation the minute I drive off the lot with a...
Well, it all depends on knowledge. And that's your defense, right? Is that I didn't know there was a kid in the trunk, and that's Santa's defense here. I didn't know there was a kid in the bag.
Right.
And a lot of these weird, kids getting into Santa's sleigh fact patterns that we see this time of year. I mean, the issue with all of those is Santa doesn't necessarily do like a people scan of the sleigh in and out of each, address. So like, dude, went to every single house on the planet and didn't discover Buddy until he got back home.
So then,
I mean, when you open up the trunk of your car,
right,
and 3-year-old kid pops up, how are you gonna return that? I mean, what you do?
I'm calling 911.
You call 911.
Yeah.
Like,
and this kid absconded in my car.
Got a child
right
here.
So Santa just is like,
or you could just decide that they're better off on Tatooine and just drop them off there.
Or you're at the North Pole. It's like, I got to keep this kayfabe of Santa Claus. I guess he just lives here now. I
guess so.
So I guess negligence on what happens legally to that orphanage the next day when they wake up and that baby is gone?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying not to get too dark with this, but
and
it's like a daycare.
And as it turns out, I don't know a whole lot about orphanage law, but I mean, truly,
there
could be some sort of negligence, but I mean, in this scenario, right? If we go back to, a kid crawling in the back of your car, right? If that happened like in the parking lot of the preschool, the preschool absolutely has responsibility to keep all the kids, corralled and penned and everything else.
Hogtied.
Maybe not that. But so there very well could be some negligent liability.
Right.
But the other thing is, what could they have done differently? Again, assuming that the movie video is our evidence
Legal
in the
evidence,
case.
sure.
I mean, he crawled out of a crib. I mean, kids do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when my oldest son crawled out of his crib for the first time. We're like, well,
that's over.
Whoa,
Yep.
okay, that's a thing that just happened.
I mean, my son has tried to make an escape from school before, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he wasn't trying to escape.
Good thing my trunk wasn't open in the parking lot.
Seriously. Good thing you weren't wearing that outfit too.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he wasn't trying to escape. He just wanted something in a different classroom.
Right.
And he was planning his heist.
He just wanted it more.
So I would say Buddy is probably, little baby Buddy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we get to the North Pole and they raise him. And then eventually he finds out, I'm not really an elf. And blah, blah, blah. First of all, the thing with the elves, with Santa's like, this was a great time to start again for next year. Like, this is almost starting to feel like unsafe, or not unsafe, but like bad work conditions, right?
Well, yes, or it's just absolute job security.
Oh my God, you are sounding like a capitalist billionaire CEO right now. No, we're like a family here.
Right, we are. We take really good care of our people, and we just, the good thing is we've got work to start getting going on the morning of Christmas.
Another thing I saw, and we had this conversation way back in an episode, I can't remember which one. He's also not getting proper schooling. So like, I'm going to guess that school is not accredited by, and he's not learning any sort of fundamental skills that don't relate to just being slave labor for Santa Claus. Like, I'm sure they all learn
full-time
woodworking.
Indoctrination.
Yeah.
You're an elf, and it's a privilege to work around the clock for a year.
It's tough because those kids in that classroom, now we don't see them working per se, but this all feels like a weird child labor violation. No, if you saw what you saw,
right,
treating the movie as like footage, CCTV footage,
right,
would you try to make a case for like, I think there's some child labor violations happening here?
I don't know, because I didn't look carefully enough, but it seems like all of the elves that are working are grown-up elves versus the kid elves that are, forced perspective smaller in the classroom.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we ever saw, a kid turning the Jack in a Box or, those sorts of things. So I don't know if really we've got a case for child labor just based upon what we saw. I mean, unless you're going to just say that every elf is a child, but, that's.
But indentured servitude. Right? I mean, like, they say at the very beginning of this movie, if you're an elf, you only have 3 options.
Right.
Really.
Right.
There's no 4th option to be a dentist. As we know. Right.
As we know. So
it kind of seems like if you're in the North Pole, I don't know if it's like your lot in life is based on geographically where you are. But if you're in the North Pole, if you want to survive, you're working in that workshop.
Yeah, because they don't have too many trees to make cookies out of in the North Pole.
No.
I mean, so it probably limits you right back down to shoes or toys.
So I'm going to say that there probably is some sort of, they're working more than, how many hours can you work legally?
I don't know. I work people as many hours as I possibly can until they cry. So I'm not really sure what the rules are about that.
Producer Linda shaking her head.
Producer Linda.
Yep. Is that what that whimpering is in the other room?
Hold up a little sign. Help me.
Just turning those Jack in the Boxes in there. Okay, so yeah, look, the elf thing, it's, again, Santa Claus to me is a lot like Batman, where the more realistic you make it, the more just goofy and like, there's just, this doesn't make any sense that it becomes, right?
Right.
There has to be a level of the fantasy, like, well, the elves just have magic and the days are longer.
That is the answer to every question that I ever asked as a little kid to my mom. It was just like, well, it's Christmas magic.
Yeah.
Well, it's Christmas magic. Well, how does he get down the chimney? I mean, that's little and he's big. Christmas magic. How does he get to every Christmas magic?
Ozempic. Santa's been on that GLP-1 train way longer than anyone else. Okay, so Buddy finds out that Bob Newhart is not his dad, which is devastating for anyone, really.
Of course.
But then he's going to go to New York and find his real dad. This is interesting because I was kind of looking online, seeing if people had talked about some of the, because sometimes people do bring up like legal issues and and stuff, and they were saying like, oh, he international travel, he's got no ID or anything. But couldn't you argue it's like he was born an American citizen, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think there's immigration
any
issues, right?
Besides, he walked.
Is that what immigrants have been getting wrong this whole time?
That's what they've been getting
walk?
wrong. You just gotta walk straight from the North Pole to New York City.
I assume he goes through Canada first, right?
Which is why it was easier.
So, I mean, he is technically kind of undocumented because there's no.
Yeah, I mean, he probably. I mean,
if he he does a lot of things in this movie where a normal person would probably at a minimum be detained, but people are just kind of like montage, and he just gets away with. But if he was like booked,
right? But he was booked.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so he was booked.
Yeah.
So when he was brought in and booked, that process, potentially, I mean, they would have asked for identification,
which he wouldn't have,
right? Unless there's a North Pole ID card that we're not aware of. Could be,
but that's not a legal ID.
And now we're talking about where do we draw the realism line between is there a North Pole identification or is there not? No, I mean, if somebody actually, I don't know how far north of New York City you can actually live.
Sure.
You know,
right?
I know it's Canada-ish, you know. but I don't know.
Oh, we are also not a geography show.
I wonder. I don't know if Canada goes all the way to the North Pole. I don't think it does. I don't think there's landmass at the North Pole, and so I don't know. You know, if I decided that I wanted to, you know, scoop up a bunch of parkas, and live on the ice polar cap,
sure.
I don't know what country that is. I know where the South is because that's Antarctica. That's easy.
Right.
But if you just wanted to live on the North Pole,
the least. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I know.
What are we going on about?
But you're talking about whether he's undocumented.
Yes,
and
I am.
He might have an ID.
Yeah.
For the North Pole. What if it's like way northern Canadian province, and so he has like a, you know, North Polian Canadian ID?
I don't think so. It's not like Buddy's from Manitoba. Like, the North Pole doesn't have any sort of, from what we see,
right?
The North Pole has no roads.
Right.
Santa's not going around the world in a Jeep. He's going in a sleigh.
True.
So there's probably no DMV.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Right.
Do you need a license to drive a sleigh with horses and stuff?
No.
Do you need any sort of...
No.
No training, nothing?
No.
You're just on your own if you have a sleigh? I can take a sleigh down
Ventura Boulevard.
Times Square. I can take a sleigh. with horses and I don't need a license?
I think that I can't think of a reason, a law that would be broken. I actually once here in Moore Park looked out and somebody was driving a horse-drawn carriage down the street.
Yeah.
It was for, to set up for a parade or something along those lines.
Okay.
But they were just going down the regular road. I'm not aware of a license for a horse-drawn carriage.
I think this is one of these moments where if
I want to hear about it. But so rolling all the way back, if they take Buddy the Elf into the police station, fingerprint him, take his booking photo, his fingerprints are either going to come up in the database or they're not.
Right.
If his fingerprints come up in the database, then they know that, it's I don't know what his birth name would have been.
So
but
when you're born, they take your foot, right, on your birth certificate.
I think,
I'm pretty sure it's your foot.
But I don't think I think that there is a point where kids have their fingerprints into the system, but you have to actually make an effort to do that. Like Masons go out and fingerprint kids to help with missing children issues and those sorts of things. So it's almost like chipping your kid,
right?
But so I don't think that as the baby they would have had his fingerprints. And so, yeah, I think when they booked him, it would have come up as this person's not in the system, and then they would have created the record for the very first time.
How often does that happen? I know you obviously don't know
these days, less and less and less, because as we've evolved as a society and become more security conscious, now if we want to volunteer at our kids' school, we're rolling our fingerprints. If for our driver's licenses, we're giving our fingerprints. For for being a lawyer, we have to make sure that we're printed. That was something way back in the day that we had to make sure that we did. So I think the amount of people that are not printed is a lot less than it was 20 years ago or whatever.
Okay, so Buddy now he's in New York City, and I feel like this is, the fish out of water stuff obviously leads him to do things that are not legal because he doesn't know.
Right.
But let's kind of look at some of these because some of them seem a little bit more than others. So there's just flat out trespassing because he's staying at that Gimbals overnight.
Yes.
Any extra trouble for overly decorating?
Here's the thing. So Buddy overly decorates the toy section of the Gimbals.
Right.
He does break a bunch of stuff and go into the other departments and cut up pillows and destroy other things in order to do the decorations. He doesn't have permission.
Right.
So he is definitely breaking laws when he starts breaking the other merchandise and everything else. So there is some criminal liability for him for doing that. The trespassing overnight is a little bit more of a gray area because he doesn't have a right to be there overnight, to stay longer, and work all the way through the night. We know that someone else is getting there early. Zoe is getting there early to shower in the morning.
Really weird, right?
Really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought at any of my retail jobs, God, I hope they have a place for me to bathe before I start.
Right.
Was never. Anyways, neither here nor there.
Yeah.
He does attack the fake Santa, so that has got to be
now. I object to that characterization. What he does is he pulls the beard off of the smelly beef and cheese Santa, and then smelly beef and cheese Santa, who sits on a throne of lies, attacks him. So I have no problem defending Buddy the Elf for his altercation with the fake smelly Santa.
You can't go pull someone's fake beard.
He just tugged it off.
Still,
you're right. It's battery, but
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable living in a world where someone can tug at my fake beard. I just want to say that.
Okay. Well, rest assured.
So what? But that's not like a felony.
And when you call the police for somebody who tugs on your fake beard,
right?
I'm going to have a really good time laughing with the police about if they did anything.
He violated my personal space.
If I poked you, that could be an offensive touching. That counts as a battery or an
pretty cavalier with what you think I'm going to do with that poke.
So,
and you did it on video. Don't post your crimes online.
You're not supposed to post your crimes on the TikTok.
But it's not a felony, right?
No. It's so low. Like if I walked up to you on the street and pulled your fake beard off, I think the police would laugh if you called them. But technically, it's a crime. It's the lowest level of a thing that could possibly hit the radar.
If you're a police officer,
yes,
you should be enforcing all the rules and not.
Yes,
if there's a rule there,
yes,
you can't laugh at it.
Oh, you can. I mean, I just did and will, and sometimes the legal defense is. Are you kidding me? Really? Really?
Okay, so then there's Finch's sketchbook, right?
Yes.
So he destroys that thing. That's destroying someone's intellectual property. I mean, technically that could have, is that like torpedoing like a business? Because there's bigger dominoes from just like one instance like that, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you even start to? Is that another one where they're just going to laugh at you? He ripped up my coloring book.
Well, yes, it's technically vandalism.
Okay,
it's destroying the property of another person, and technically that would be what it is. But yes, they would laugh at you for reporting that to the police.
Great.
Yeah. But technically it's a crime. I mean, when I'm an adjunct professor at Pepperdine Law School, and if you talk to law students who are learning the law for the very first time,
right.
It's kind of like doctors who are going to med school for the very first time. I mean, you learn about all these interesting things, and for lawyers, it's like, oh, well, that's a battery. You pulled my beard. That's a battery. And it is. And it is. And then as you age, you learn that there are things that you don't look to the law for, a solution for.
So you're saying that not only are you book smart, you're streetwise.
I'm streetwise.
You're like Aladdin.
I am.
Okay, so I don't know why that popped into my head.
I was about to break out some Aladdin riff, but we've gone on so many detours on this episode already.
Okay, so,
yeah. Elf.
Yes. So Walter James Caan is his real biological father.
Yes.
Eventually, he brings him home. This is where I'm like, okay, hold on just a second. If you were to do any sort of cognitive test on Buddy,
right,
I'm sure it would come back with some less than desirable results.
That's a very nice way of saying it.
Okay. Could you argue that there's some level of child endangerment bringing this strange weirdo into your home with your son? There's got to be some level of negligence, especially if something happens.
Yeah. I mean, we will only go dark for a minute, but if this weirdo in yellow tights came into your house and then did something destructive to your house, like he did, or hurt your kid,
right,
then I would say that Child Protective Services would be all over that, and they would absolutely look into that. Really, like, why did you bring this homeless person into your house? I mean, nice and very kind of you, but you didn't take into account the fact that you had a kid there that you put in danger. So I mean, all of that definitely would track.
Let me ask you this, because you hear these stories like a lot, especially with the huge jump in like the 23andMe and those type of things. If you found out that someone was your biological parent, legally speaking, like before you go and like confront them, do you have to have any proof? I mean, at some point, like it doesn't feel like it's slander, but there has to be something where it's like, you're my father. And it's just like, you can't just go around saying stuff like that without,
I mean, if imagine if Buddy had the wrong guy.
Right. Because it's like you could potentially be destroying someone's life with something like that.
Yeah. I mean, if he had gone into the wrong office, or, it was his brother or something along those lines, there's all kinds of damage that would happen to that, because you're accusing him of having a kid out of wedlock. Not necessarily that that's bad, but it could potentially cause some issues, especially if it's a weirdo in yellow tights that came in, sure. Right?
So if you find out that you have, which I won't get into the story on here, I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
But I know someone who found out that their father was not their father through 23andMe.
Oh, wow.
And that they had a biological father. Legally speaking, what is the best way to go about like starting to sort that out?
Yeah, and it's not even a legal thing. I mean, from a legal perspective, the only issues that really come into play would be, the legal rights that you have if you're blood related to someone, right? So I mean, if there's some big inheritance or something like that, or if there's if there's potentially child support owed, there are legal issues that come up, with that kind of issue, right? If he was living with mom on the North Pole, and found out dad, then, potentially there's child support issues and those sorts of things. But as far as confronting a biological parent, with, hi, surprise, I'm your son, there's not a legal requirement on how you need to do that.
Can you demand any sort of like DNA test, or no?
You can't demand much of anything. I think that what it would end up being is if there was a legal claim because of that, right? So let's say that there's inheritance going on. Well, then, yeah, you can start. If you're filing a claim for inheritance money, then that has power of subpoena attached to it and all of those things. So, I mean, there is a way of getting some evidence, into it at that point. But that would be the only way that you could really demand it. I think one of the things that really struck me when this movie came out was how the pediatrician just happened to have parental DNA tests in the back room. Now, like I was at Walgreens pharmacy not that long ago, and I saw parental, strips like on the wall just at Walgreens. But when this movie came out, that for sure wasn't the case. And I remember thinking, because I was a prosecutor at the time, I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like if I could get DNA back that fast, that would be amazing.
I mean,
it doesn't happen that fast.
It is pretty crazy how things like, I know it's a little bit of a tangent, but like 23andMe specifically has unlocked so many dark secrets that people had thought that they had buried.
Yeah.
Just very crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So later on in the movie, we have Buddy, Michael, and Jovi. They're all trying to stop the Rangers, I guess.
Yes, the Rangers.
From attempting to stop Santa's sleigh.
The Central Park Rangers.
So just watching that scene.
Yeah.
What crimes do you see there? I'm assuming like some sort of obstruction of.
Yeah. I mean, there's a code section here for resisting, obstruction, delaying police officers in their official course and scope of their duties. So that would be part of it. I think it's hilarious that they picked, arguably the lowest level of law enforcement to make like the most evil, overpowered, it would be the equivalent here in California of them saying, oh, look, here's a park ranger that And park rangers, we appreciate you. Central Park Rangers, we appreciate you. But I mean,
but let's get real.
Yeah.
When you guys are done harassing Yogi Bear,
I had two friends. One was the captain of the sheriff's department here in Moore Park, and the other was the captain of the CHP here in Moore Park. And they always had fun picking at each other about how who was the higher level between them, the sheriff or the CHP, and they would make jokes about the CHP being great to change a tire on the side of the road if they needed to, but they weren't real law enforcement. And so there's all this internal rivalry between different law enforcement agencies and stuff like that. Central Park Rangers, hardcore. I love the backlit, with the horse breathing. You can see the horse's breath,
like it's Middle Earth,
like fire.
Okay, so this big flying sleigh, just crashes in the middle of this obviously very populated park.
Right.
Who's liable for this?
Well, Santa.
Man, Santa's not even in this movie very much.
Right.
And so far, he's
right.
Yeah, he's
but
really...
this is one of the reasons why we don't have a bunch of flying cars yet.
Yeah.
Is because they don't want people dropping out of the sky, and So if I sit, there are passenger drones at this point. I mean, they are in the works. I don't think we're that far away from seeing people sitting in a passenger drone. And if that happens and it drops out of the sky, then it's the same thing as any other auto accident or anything like that, or an air accident.
Right.
The owner of the device, this being the sleigh, is responsible for it. And
which I'm guessing Santa doesn't have insurance.
I don't know. Maybe he has tons of
insurance.
If
there's no DMV, as we've really gone off the rails talking about.
We definitely went off the rails about that. But so there's no DMV, but on the other hand, I'm going to say Santa's self-insured, because if he can afford to drop presents to every good boy and girl in the entire planet, then you're suing Santa for damages.
Well, yeah, anyone can build wealth when you have slave labor that you never let leave your workshop. No, they like it. They're jolly, damn it.
Wow.
Every Christmas movie, when you think about it too hard, the concept of Santa is so flawed, so unbelievably flawed.
At least most of the time he's jolly. Wait till we get to Rudolph, because I have things to say.
Oh boy.
But I'm gonna say that Santa's liable for the reindeer, Santa's liable for the sleigh, Santa's liable for the crash in the middle of Central Park, and so he's on the hook for any damage that comes from any of that.
Although, to quote you,
yes, please, I love it when you quote me.
Good luck serving him.
You
basically have one night a year to try to serve Santa.
Right.
Could you just imagine police standing by a fireplace in a Christmas tree, holding
You've
cookies,
been served,
like a sting operation? He lifts the cookie off the plate and this
click.
Oh, we need to stop talking. Let's let the fans talk a little bit. These are some fan questions. So Sarah said, if Buddy technically committed assault against the fake Santa,
right,
could that Santa sue Gimbals, the store, for hiring someone who antagonized Buddy into defending? Actually, I would say you have another problem, because Buddy doesn't actually work there.
He doesn't actually work there, yeah. So it depends on through which lens you look at, right? So I don't like defending beef and cheese Santa because he's beef and cheese and he smells bad.
B&C Santa.
B&C Santa. So, but Could he sue? He could sue Buddy the Elf. Now it's going to get interesting, right? So we got to assume that Santa, that Beef and Cheese Santa is probably a temporary employee, seasonal employee, right?
Sure.
Unless they pulled him from the managerial pool, like they ended up doing later when they needed to replace Beef and Cheese Santa.
Let's say he's a career Santa.
Say he's a career Santa. Okay, so I get the sense that usually those time of year they hire out a Beef and Cheese Santa to come in. So when Beef and Cheese Santa comes
number 4
in
on the value menu,
exactly.
Double Beef and Cheese Santa.
Double Beef and Cheese Santa with the side of candy cane, and. So, but his employee status actually makes a legal difference.
Okay.
Right? So he's a contractor. He can potentially sue Gimbals. He's an employee. He can potentially sue Gimbals, but for the act. So let's say that Buddy really is an employee. Let's say that he's just a wacky employee who's really into Christmas.
Okay.
And the argument from Beef and Cheese Santa would be that I can't say it without a smile on my face every time I say it. His argument would be that they negligently hired somebody who was not following the rules or something along those lines. Like if an employee at work, punched me in the face, can you sue your employer for having that employee around? You can, but also there's levels of, should the employer have known better? Is there something strange with Buddy the Elf? We know that he's been acting strange. And then we also know that he didn't punch Beef and Cheese Santa in the face. He tugged on his beard, which is super low. So was there any indication? Were there some warning signs that maybe Buddy the Elf shouldn't have been parked right next to Beef and Cheese Santa? Sure, absolutely.
But I mean, shouldn't they also have been like, is there more of a case? Because you said, like, let's assume Buddy is an employee.
Right.
I feel like it's way worse that he's not, because it's like, not only were you guys negligent, like, you also didn't even check to see if he was, Yeah,
you didn't even check to see he's an employee. And then we start going through surveillance video, and you got to believe that his destruction of the store and redecorating using broken goods from other departments was part of a pool of evidence that you could get. So he's probably got something there. On the other hand, at the end of the day, you look at what did this crazy person who thinks he's an elf do? He tugged on a beard. And so then you're right back to the original legal analysis of, really, you're going to sue him for,
but I would just argue, like,
tugging on a beard.
You let this crazy person in, my safety.
This is true. This is true.
But I guess you can't really get any damages for could have been. It has to be it did happen.
It has to be it did happen. I'm working a case right now that somebody grabbed someone's hands and pulled them behind his back, and he turned around and punched him in the face. Totally self-defense, because he's trying to stop somebody from pulling his hands behind his back. Mm-hmm. But the argument from a prosecutor's side is that he didn't just punch him in the face. He punched him in the face repeatedly, like a lot of times. So, exceeding the scope of what you can do is another legal principle. So, could Beef and Cheese Santa, tackle the guy for tugging on his beard? No, he can't. I mean, he way exceeded the scope. He could have tugged on his beard back or pushed his hand away.
Could he have pulled on those perfect little Will Ferrell curls?
Boing! Maybe.
All right, Jasmine. Oh God, Jasmine, you are opening up a can of worms here that we thought we closed. Does the North Pole count as a sovereign nation? If not, who has jurisdiction over crimes committed there? It sounds like Santa is quite a dictator of the North Pole. Like, he makes the rules.
You are definitely on the naughty list.
I'm just saying, we have no evidence to support that anyone other than, there's no Democratic Party of North Poleans.
But we also know from this movie that you can work other places if you're an elf.
Sure.
So it's not like you have to stay at the North Pole.
I understood. And Santa is a benevolent leader. He lets him go.
Of course.
I'm just saying Santa unilaterally makes every decision that happens at the North Pole, no?
We don't know if there's a Democratic
show me
Congress
the elf senator.
Elf.
Show me the elf
Senator
Senate
Elfington of the Elfington Isles. I am not sure what happens with a crime that happens at the North Pole. I think that probably the legal analysis is international waters, because we don't have an actual land mass to attach sovereignty to.
David wants to know, could Walter sue Buddy for emotional distress after Buddy ruins his pitch meeting with Miles Finch?
Yes. I don't think emotional distress is going to be his strongest argument, though.
No, but
we talked about this before on some episodes that, you being upset about something doesn't. It's technically a cause of action, intentional or negligent infliction of emotional distress. You do see that from time to time, but that's not what wins the day.
Could you approximate how much that deal or whatever would have been worth, and then say like, this would have gone through if this guy hadn't done this thing?
I think what the stronger argument would be an interference with a business relationship.
Okay.
So
is that a real crime?
It's not a crime.
Okay.
So again, we're outside of my criminal defense knowledge here, but the idea of an intentional or negligent interference with business relationships, again, big stretch, but that would carry more weight than the emotional distress aspect of it.
It just seems like it'd be really tough to prove, not necessarily in the case study of Elf, but just in general.
Right.
Like if I spread a rumor about you that ended up torpedoing a deal for you, it's like, it feels like that'd be really hard to.
Yeah, it's really hard to prove. But but in this, if there was an instance where you just about had a deal closed, and somebody came in wearing an elf costume, although I don't think he was wearing the elf costume at that point.
I don't think
so, he was in a business suit.
But the thing is, I guess what makes it different is he being Walter, like, lets him be there. So that to me feels like it's more of like an internal company problem than it is like, I'm going to, like, how many times have I been employed at a job where I just messed something up, and I cost the company money? It would
all
be,
the time. I hear
it would be hire me, I'm available, check my LinkedIn. But like, it would probably be headline news if the company tried to sue me because I made a mistake that cost them money.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. And I haven't heard of lawsuits like that. Where a big, arguably a big corporation, sues an employee for negligence, although he's not an employee and he is arguably a trespasser, but who allows he's allowed to be there. And so it gets super complicated. I don't think Walter is ever going to win that lawsuit against Buddy.
Maybe it would just get thrown out.
I think it would just get thrown out.
Yeah. Okay. Melissa says, if Buddy's toy making quota was way below the other elves, could he sue the workshop for discrimination or wrongful termination?
Well, as it turns out, white male is not a protected class.
Sorry, buddy.
So
even in the North Pole, I thought maybe you had one.
Unless we develop some fictional protected class in the North Pole, because he's. But he is literally the least protected class that exists. So no, I don't think Buddy's going to get sued for that. Or can sue for discrimination. What's interesting is then if he's under quota, then there are issues of he then ends up getting put on a employee improvement.
Right. A performance improvement plan, yeah.
And so, which apparently puts him at Jack in a Box testing. Which I love that. I love that scene.
It's
so
a great
much.
scene.
It's so wrong.
You find out it's just a busy work thing.
Yeah,
because he can't. But I mean, are those quotas even legal? I guess you'd have to figure out how.
Well, yes, I would say yes. They are legal. You know, if the evaluation of your employees is based upon them creating a certain number of widgets every day, or signing up a certain number of clients, or whatever it might end up being, it's totally valid for the company to be doing that. But then we're right back to, you know, your concerns about Santa being an evil dictator.
I just am. First of all, no, don't put words in my mouth. I said he was a benevolent leader. I just said that he unilaterally makes all the decisions. Is that not a dictatorship? You can love the dictator. You can. I mean, was Caesar ruled for a long time. Everyone was super happy. No,
this is the episode where we have taken the most detours out of any episode that we filmed so far.
Well, I'm sorry that we have not really taken seriously the film historical context of Elf. You know, we're not talking The Godfather here.
This is true. We're not.
Okay, so now we come down to a speed round. So let's start with Walter. I mean, really, all he's as we've talked about many times, not illegal to be an asshole.
Right.
Very legal to do that. So really, what we're looking at is those child endangerment kind of that kind of slant. That angle. So,
but you know, and I would argue. So if I'm defending Walter,
right.
I'm going to use the Mary Steenburgen defense, which is
great. I don't even know what it is, but I love it already.
I knew. I you know, so, you know, wifey wants him to be kind and caring and believes that this is the right thing to do. Yeah. And he wants to make her happy, and he agrees. And you've said already that Mary can't do anything wrong ever. Mm-hmm. So that's the defense of Walter for child endangerment.
Except when she was that really nasty, evil lawyer in Philadelphia. But she's still a cute doing it, but terrible person in that movie.
But I think you get around child endangerment because, you know, you have her testify that, you know, Buddy was well-meaning and kind and nice, and there was no, you know, there was no reason to believe that he would endanger their child.
Okay. Santa Claus. I mean, he has no oversight. He kept a baby.
My takeaway is that you really anyway.
I am trying.
I know
to be as professional as possible,
and you are.
I'm looking at the facts.
You are just the facts, man. Just the facts, man.
I'm taking my personal feelings about big fat Coca-Cola Santa Claus out of this. Holidays are coming. No, I'm not talking about the Santa who's hanging out with the M&Ms. I'm talking about what I'm seeing, which is a man who took a baby, gave it to another man, for no other reason that just you wanted it more. The Rocket Raccoon defense. He's got a centuries-long potential slave labor ring here with those elves.
Yes.
They have no workers' rights, it seems like. And, you know, he potentially has no license for his sleigh. So, potentially very liable for the damage it caused in Central Park.
I am not going to convince you otherwise. But every single thing that you just said has no basis in evidence or at all.
He gave the baby to Bob Newhart. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Right, there you go. Yeah. Bob Newhart volunteered to take care of the baby.
It's still wrong.
And the baby was lost.
No, but
So which police department does Santa return the baby to? So yes, I'm defending Santa. And my defense of Santa is, which police department should he have taken that baby to?
What happens if you call 911 in the North Pole? Who picks up?
I don't know.
Okay, well, he should have at least tried. No, he knew what. Like he's okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. Sees you when you're sleeping, knows when you're awake.
Right?
He doesn't know where this kid came from. Are you kidding me? Take him back. Take him back. What are you doing?
You know, I think that we should record Christmas Carol next week because I think we know who Scrooge is in this room.
I'm just saying I'm going to destroy you in court if you give me the ignorance is bliss argument with the man who's as omnipotent as God and can see you when you're taking a crap and knows every bad thought you've had and whether or not how good of a present you're going to get, but he doesn't know where this baby came from. He doesn't know what his name is. Santa's whole gimmick is he knows every kid's name except this kid. He's got his check his underwear. Give me a break. I'm tossing Santa in the clink.
He's an angry elf.
Last but not least, his buddy, he's trespassing. I'm going to say he has assault and battery on
beef and cheese Santa. Yeah.
Destruction of property and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Encouraging kids to eat too much sugar maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up the machine gun snowball arm. Because honestly,
yes. I mean, I would say multiple assaults.
I mean, maybe that arm's a deadly weapon.
How about hanging out, waiting for girls that are in the shower? That seems wildly problematic.
I am defending Buddy across the board. On everything, because he's wonderful and kind and his heart is in the right place. I make a living explaining why people do things.
Okay.
And so, all jokes aside, for every single one of the crimes of Buddy the Elf that we have identified on this wonderful show, this is a guy whose heart is always in the right place.
Sure.
There's not a negative or malicious bone in his body, and he wants just good things for everybody. And that's why Jolie, falls for him so much, even though he's weird and creepy and goes in the shower. He's not weird and creepy, but I mean. He doesn't have a bad bone in his body, and his intentions are so pure and so wonderful that anything that he did that was crossing the line, I would be able to excuse.
Well, I'm really disappointed in Santa Claus at the end of this.
Well, Santa Claus might be disappointed in you too.
It's possible. I don't think this was an accurate representation of my Santa Claus, though.
Okay, no, that's fair. Yeah. And we have seen Santa Claus portrayed in quite a few movies, and I have some strong opinions about different portrayals of Santa Claus, and I understand that your Ed Asner Santa Claus is not your favorite one.
It didn't strike me until we got into it that it's like your whole thing is you should know. And your whole defense for him is he didn't know. It's
right.
Like, well, then then he's not Santa Claus.
Right.
Or he's a liar.
Right.
Which one is it?
I mean, he might be beef and cheese Santa.
I don't even know how to get out of this episode. Do you like beef and cheese? Let us know in the comments below. Tell us your favorite Santa.
You sit on a throne of lies.
It's quite comfy. It's the holiday season, so we have a couple more holiday episodes that we're going to be bringing your way. Die Hard, and we already said Rudolph.
Yes.
Which is another Santa that...
Yeah.
But again... preview, not illegal to be an asshole.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So we're gonna have some fun times.
I'm gonna be throwing your words back in your face once we get to Rudolph.
If you want to check out all of the other episodes that we have for Doug Defense, go ahead and find them on our channel. We have a lot of fun ones. Our Andor episode, Hunger Games, Back to the Future, go all the way back to the beginning where we talk about, is Obi-Wan a child kidnapper? Is Yondu? Is Santa? go check out all the episodes.
Right.
I feel like we have a different answer each time for them all.
A little bit.
And if you are on the go, if you're in the kitchen, if you're in the car, if you're on a run, put Doug in your ears. That's what I like to do. We're on Spotify, Apple, everywhere you can get your podcast. Doug, I don't even know how to get out of this.
Shoopy doopy.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
I think you're gonna have a good Christmas, all right?
You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
Okay.
He's an imposter!